I protect that which matters most.
What's up, folks? It is I, Seraph GL, with that which matters most. Thanks for stopping by. Listen, the name of this particular vlog and podcast is If Common Sense Was Common, Everybody Would Have It. My dad used to say all the time, son, that's just common sense. And then a while later, one of my best friends from high school, college, I've known him since high school, a brother named Charles Oliver Jr. And we call him Maine. And Maine was the one that told me, hey man, common sense was common, everybody had it. It's clear that most people don't have common sense, because they don't think in a common sense sort of way. Let me give you an example. Let's just take people who have melanated skin. Let's just start there. Now, my son, who is 2 years old, he may not can tell me right now what color his skin is. And he may not can tell me right now what color his dad's skin is. In other words, what the color is. He may not automatically say brown. But one thing is a fact. At 2 years and 2 months, he knows my skin ain't black. Because he knows the difference between black and brown. Now, common sense should tell you that my skin ain't black. Common sense should also tell you there's nothing on me that's jet black. Even my eyes are brown. Once you shine light into them, they're brown. Dark brown, but brown. My son's eyes are dark brown. But they're not black. My hair, when I had it growing, was black till it started turning gray. That was the only black. My eyebrows, black. Some of the hair in my chin and my goatee, black. There's nothing else black on me. You can say what you want to say. You can believe, which, as we all know, a belief is just something that you've been told enough for it to stick. You can believe what you want. You can have faith in anything you want. But for me, I will go with factual data every time. Because factual data brings you to the truth or further away. One thing's a fact, though. If it's a factual piece of data, it will say what it is. That's one very classic example. Here's another one. Europeans calling themselves white. If you only knew. No, clearly you're not white. Even an albino has some color, but it's not white. Understand that those terms, black, white, Indian, Hispanic, those are legal statutes. They are status symbols. One meaning up here, not off the chart, but right here, that's white. Because inside the box, we're all the same to the people who really count, to the people who control everything. Inside the box, we're all to them the same. niggers. You got your white niggers, and you got your black niggers, and you got every nigga in the middle, but they all equal the same. Niggers. Niggers. Nigger, which is a derivation of the word negro, which is a Spanish word meaning black. However, the word black is a new word, is an old English word, which actually means bleached, which actually means pale. All of this is easy to find, folks. I'm not making up shit, and I didn't make it up myself. I found it by looking. So with that said, common sense is clearly not common, or everybody would have some of it. If you've been paying attention to the news media, or if you've been paying attention to just social media over the last 20 years, you know who Donald Trump is. I just happen to have paid attention and also actually met him a few years ago. I knew all I needed to know then. So when you make that person your president, in other words, when you invite a clown into your house, don't trip when he turns your house into a circus. Common sense should have told you that that's what was going to happen. Don't invite a thief and a grifter into your house and complain when you wake up and your shit is gone. Common sense should have told you that. But if common sense was common, everybody would have it. And if everybody in the United States was working on a common sense basis, a lot of shit wouldn't exist. So those that control everything, we'll talk about that at some other time as well. Those that control everything, they know who we are as a group. They know how little we think as a group. They know they can control us emotionally anytime they want. And once they control us emotionally, then we use the little bit of logic that we use to just justify what we do. And they control us with 3 F's. Feeding, in other words, money, sustenance, job. Feeding, fighting or fleeing, right? In other words, invoke fear, or fucking. In other words, sex. Sex drive, the desire to be fed, and fear. Greed, sex, fear. Those are the 3 things that they use against us all the time. The only people who don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe are people who are trying to pay attention. Unfortunately, there aren't enough of us right now. But all it takes is critical mass. Look the word up, critical mass. Once this world hits critical mass, shit will start to change. It won't change from government. I don't care how many times you change the president, they're going to always do the same thing. Understand, folks, why is everybody getting upset and excited about a president starting a war? Presidents do 3 things, going all the way back to the first one I've ever seen. They do 3 things. They either continue a war, start a war, and raise your taxes. Go back to 1960 and look. Do a little research, folks. Use your, as one of my friends' mom would say, use your mother wit. These things are very simple, folks. But when they cloud your mind with all kinds of propaganda and bullshit. Okay, let me ask whoever's listening to this. Let's say you're a European, quote unquote, white person. Say you're a European and you live in Mississippi. Not everywhere in Mississippi, but just some really fucked up podunk ass one gas station town in Mississippi. and you live in a little shotgun shack with you and your wife and your 8 kids and your broken down car in the front yard and your broken down truck in the front yard and your old refrigerator and toilet in the front yard with a whole bunch of holes in it. Okay? Get the picture? What makes you think Donald Trump gives a fuck about you? What piece of legislation has benefited you in any way? Any way? What was it that made you think this was a good idea? I can tell you what. Fear. Because it was not greed, because he didn't promise you no money. Fear. The Mexicans, the blacks, they're going to come and get us all. The Muslims. Sparked your fear. You went out and spent your last money on some ammo. And you went and pulled a lever. Common sense should have told you he's not for you. He's never done anything for you. If you want to keep it real, Obama at least gave you an opportunity to have some health care. Now, was it a good program? No, because they fucked him up. Because the bottom line is, you don't go up against a health insurance agency. This ain't about health care. This is about health insurance. That's a huge business. That's a business that made money during the Great Depression. Common sense should tell you that nobody in the White House is for you. Nobody in the halls of Congress are for your broke ass. So why are you defending this shit? Because 9 times out of 10, if you're a poor European and you live in the Deep South and you're under 30, don't be shocked if they enact a draft and make your ass go to the military. Why do you think there's so many fucking military recruiting stations in these little small towns? Cannon fodder. Period. Common sense should tell you that, but if common sense was common, when Slick Willie, I call him, Bill Clinton, was being impeached, not for getting his dick sucked, because in my opinion, at the time when he was president, the economy was booming. We did not have a war in place. And he had enacted some shit to put a bunch of people in jail. So for the typical European elitist, that was a beautiful day. But he wasn't impeached because he got his dick sucked in the White House. He didn't get impeached because he got his dick sucked and it wasn't Hillary sucking it. Because a lot of people other than Hillary were sucking it. He got impeached for lying. Lying about it. In the impeachment inquiry, he was accused of and impeached for lying. His wife stood by him. Why? Because they're business partners. I remember that time very well. I remember every Republican being so clutch the pearls. Now look at them. They got the linest motherfucker on the planet in front of them. Trump chicken, Trump University, Trump steaks, all that shit, just robbing people. Lying his motherfucking ass off all day, every day. And that's who you picked? Well, no, you didn't. You fucked around and stumbled and tripped over your little short dicks and ended up with that motherfucker. That now you're stuck with him. And instead of you saying, we fucked up, we get it, let's get rid of this motherfucker and keep it moving, you're holding on. Why? Does he have something over you people? Well, we know the Russians have a lot of shit over a lot of those guys, but don't get it twisted. For every Republican that's in the pocket of Putin, there's a Democrat in the same pocket. Period. Why do you think they ran Ron Paul out of town? Why do you think they're fighting against Bernie Sanders? 2 completely different ideologies, but both standing for the same thing, the people. This matrix is too strong, and there's nothing that Donald Trump is going to do to fix that. You stupid conspiracy theorists talking about some QAnon bullshit. Donald Trump's job is not to fix anything. And even if it was, presidents don't fix shit. You know why? Because that's not their job. Their job is to do three things: start a war, complete a war, continue a war, and raise your taxes. Period. Am I clear? And if you want to find out the truth about that, look it up. Common sense should tell you should at least look at it. But then again, common sense was common. So, with that said, I want you guys to try to, for once, just think about what you're dealing with. Think about everything that's in front of you. Start looking at the world like Dick Gregory used to look at the world. Whatever they're showing you in this box, try to look outside it. Look over there a little bit, or up in that corner, or down in that corner, down in that corner. Use some common sense. Use some intellect. Quit letting emotion drag you somewhere. Hey, if you like what you're listening to, click like, leave a comment, and subscribe. All my social media stuff is right there in the corner. So go check it out. Get involved. Let me know. If you don't like what I'm saying, let me know. That's the kind of place I'm in. I treat all of this like a comedian treats his art. I have a viewpoint, and I'm going to express it the way I feel like expressing it. If you don't like it, don't come. But if you like it, keep liking it, keep sharing it, and subscribe. I am Seraph, GL, and that is that which matters most, and is always imparting. Peace.
I protect that which matters most.